Halloween night.
You want to start over again?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Starting at, I think it's at 5:30, that one is, over at the sheriff's office up in Eastville. For those who don't know where the sheriff's office is, it's behind the new courthouse, to the left. You go to the right, that's the jail, the wrong way. Or maybe that's where you're supposed to be going, I don't know. Business. But, so yes, next Thursday, it's Halloween night, I think.
Yeah.
So I still need to talk to Jason to coordinate with him to get all of our handouts purchased for next Thursday. And again, for those who told me that you're going to be participating in that, we need you over there around 5:30. And come in some costume if you would care to. We would appreciate that as well. We're anticipating about 1,000 kids coming through as well. Crab cakes, quick update on the crab cakes. We are going to go with the same price that we sold in the summer, 55,000.
See you next year.
I was gonna get the price of the crab meat this afternoon, when he.
He is on vacation.
I've already told them.
Wait, we're going to live with the $55 a tray for a tray of 6. If we have some real price fluctuations, we will deal with that after the fact. Okay, so we are on for sales. So again, go to town, please. Bertus, I think, is available for another, 2 weeks before you head out of town? So get your sales information over to him, but we're going to ask that you CC Paul as his backup, because Bertus is taking a little vacation.
It's good to take me on a vacation.
Oh.
What's the date that we're making crab cake?
The date of making crab cakes,
22nd.
thank you, the 22nd, it's a Friday, it is the Friday before Thanksgiving of the Thanksgiving holiday weekend.
Okay, great.
So it'll be over at the Sheridan Fire Station. We'll talk about this a little bit more, but really the effort is sell. Because again, we are making 2,000 crab cakes. That is our goal. That translates to 300, and if I remember correctly, 358 trays, I think is the math. Don't hold me.
John, is she bringing you back?
I may not make that.
I know something you know.
Are there any other announcements from club members? Bill?
Tomorrow afternoon, the Northampton High Interact Club is meeting, and there are about 40 members. We used to always be around 18 to 20, but Jason got in charge and it's doubled.
Yeah.
Before next week out.
If there's any way we can help, if they're doing a project, let us know, and let's see how we can tie together to assist them.
Right.
We'd like them to be successful.
Make sure they are.
Excellent. Any other announcements for the club members? Hearing none. I'm gonna move on then. I think we're ready to do early the drawing for Queen of Hearts. Did everybody get their cards in? Who's got the high card? Oh, Joan does. She got the card.
Oh.
No one had.
Okay.
Nobody else.
You're getting
Wow.
John, you thought in the lottery ticket? 27.
28.
How much? 28 dollars.
Okay, Doc.
Mark. For sure, seven. Good.
Did she get the Queen of Hearts? No, 9 of diamonds. We are alive for another week of spending, and the pot grows.
Wow.
Get $7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And with that said, I'm gonna, before we turn over to our speaker today, any, happy dollars.
Something I may not be back to Spain. A couple of things, about 47 years ago, I was honorably discharged from the Navy Reserve. In 6 years of duty, I was never on a ship that wasn't tied up. That's pretty hard to do. I'm happy we have Russell here today. I've known Russell since almost the day he got here. We've been his friends, he's been my pastor. I knew him when he first got out of the cemetery or one day. I can't remember which one it was. Guys, we haven't known before. I'm glad he's here. You're gonna like this. We'll talk about that shit. So that out for $25.
Yeah.
As you're going to be on the ship, it's not that.
I may be sitting still, maybe sitting grip over the elbow or something. I don't.
Do you have any other happy dollars today? Bill?
I'm happy for the tune of $5, simply because there isn't a cloud in the sky.
I don't know where to go next. Happier than that, no clouds in the sky. Hearing none, I think we're ready to hear from our presenter today as well. I'm also excited to have, I call you pastor, minister, pastor, Russell Goodrich to come speak with us today. Again, for those who don't know you, you can tell all about yourself. I happen to know you from a business capacity at the town hall most recently. I don't think I skinned you too bad in that process. I don't know. You can tell them anything you like. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I will tell you all funny about her. So we were doing repairs for what we call the Vanellis house. And we had gotten underway and didn't have a building permit, so they tagged us. Come back around and went through the process, but at some point with it, when she gave me the green light, I said, "Are you serious?" She said, "Yeah," and I ran over and I hugged her, and I don't think she's used to people hugging her. It was sticker shock all in her face. Which time do I have?
As much as you want.
Well, listen, you don't want to tell a Baptist preacher that. I'm going to do my best to streamline because what I'm hoping is to give some time for y'all to ask questions and to get some more information on what I'm about ready to share with y'all.
They start leaving, you'll know.
There you go. There you go. So, Pastor Cape Charles Baptist Church, been on Eastern Shore for over 45 years total. Pastor come this April, 25 years. And so when I was 36, I had what the Bible talks about, a true conversion. When that true conversion happened to me, off and running for the kingdom of God. And I wanted to go to Guatemala, be on a mission field, send me into missions. And God had a different plan. I came back to the shore in the year 2000, thought I was going to be here for 1 year to be with my daughter who was 13 at that time. And now the rest is history. God put me in Cape Charles Baptist Church. And from the day that I arrived there, I have a missionary's heart. And so everything that we do at Cape Charles Baptist Church has a missional connection to it in some capacity. Our vision statement at that church is in the streets, meeting needs, sharing Jesus' love. Our mission statement also points out at strategic locations in Northampton County with the tangible presence of God. I'm not here to preach to y'all. I'm not here to convert you today. But what I am here for today is to ask you to listen in to what we're doing there because it's not a denomination. It is not a single church. It is a movement of God in community with all people. And we love being a witness of that and a partnership with that. So I'm going to use a brand today that we have that's called Serving Together. Serving Together launched in 2018. It was a movement of multiple things that were already happening. We thought, how can we bring our efforts closer together and connect better with that? So to the Baptist General Association of Virginia, their leadership team came here to the shore, asked me to get people into the room. I had 24 people in the room, strategically appointed to the room, from everything from social services to housing authority to Northampton supervisors. They just covered the gamut, okay? School board. And we spent a day and a half and went through a process of 5 years from now, what would you like to see in Northampton County that would be different and better off? So we started throwing that out and they were putting on the board. When we finished, we ended up with 6 areas that we wanted to be an impact and influence on to help Northampton County to get to the next level. So we started that process off, and at that meeting, when we were there, it was 6:30. It's one of those of healthy recreation choices for youth and family. I had some people in the room who took me to the side and said, "What do you think about a YMCA?" And I'm gonna tell you right now that that's not in my wheelhouse at all. I'm like, well, yeah, but after would I be willing to have lunch with the CEO of Southampton Road's YMCA the next week? We went and sat at the Backside Restaurant in Virginia Beach with the CEO. And this person asked, we bought $1 million and I asked somebody to match that. Can we put a YMCA in Northampton County? Now, that's not in my wheelhouse either. And so when it took place, the CEO said, that's great to hear, but he said there's multiple things that have to line up for this to work. And I spoke right up and said, I'm going to be crystal clear. We do not want anything offered to Northampton County that can't get across the finish line. There's been promises to the people here in the past. There's been opportunities and efforts. But if this can't happen, we don't want to set it up in its tail. And they agreed 100% to that. Long story short, a year and a half later, the keys were given to the Northampton County YMCA, to Southampton Roads YMCA, $4.6 million YMCA paid for in full. And that isn't something that we did, but we were a catalyst. We were a part of the vision of that and started off with that. So I want to share with y'all also, not only do we have the YMCA here now, the YMCA now for this year, for the first time, is able to offer through a 21st century grant, $500,000 has been given to Northampton County, $250,000 to Kipton Peak, $250,000 to Arcahonic to do the after school program. Never in the history of this county have they had a licensed certified after school program. And we're partnering in with the Northampton School Board. The YMCA is actually the one that facilitates all of the programming for that. So that's part of one of the things that came out of the original of it. We ended up then deciding that we would come back and bring 128 people into the oyster farm after the summer of the first year was over with, and get the people who do those things, their first responders, their police officers, their school board members, their presidents, and it went on and on and on, 128 people into the oyster farm. We treated them a dinner, and we had them do exactly what took us a day and a half to go through in the workshop. We had them do it in 3 hours. And so now they had a chance to tell us, what do you really want and really need in this county to help you out? We can't promise anything, but we're resourcing, we're connecting dots. It was an overwhelming response that night in the room. The energy could not have been any higher. And then pandemic. When the pandemic came on, everything then, as y'all well know, shut down and it stopped. And so after we got through the pandemic, last year, we started to say, can we breathe life back into serving together? So spoke to you guys in Richmond. We had a meeting, we had a lunch together, and it was about now 8 months ago, we brought strategic people back into the room to meet 14 of them. They were Housing Authority, Social Services, Community Service Board, Habitat for Humanity, police officers, and so forth. So what we've done is that we're relaunching Serving Together. And what I want to say to y'all is that when I'm talking to you about this, I believe that its future is not to be established as a standalone nonprofit 501c3. I'm not even sure if it'll ever have a board, but what I do think is exciting about it is what I'm getting to do today. It's kind of like just hearing the brand Serving Together. And so we hold meetings when they're needed, and we bring people into the room. I may strategically ask people to come to the room and sit in one of our think tanks and one of our brainstorming moments and see what we can do. So it's a movement that's going on. It's not anything at this point, again, that we see that we want to replicate something or copy something else that's already happening, because there's great movements going on all around us. This is really about what's happening right in this room now. Hey, if I get a chance to talk about it, if something happens, bam, Serving Together. And we can kind of put that logo on it, and it doesn't mean anything other than we're part of this new movement that's happening in Northampton County. So I'm going to share with you all some of the things that we do through our ministry and also through the connection of Serving Together. Many of you in the room know this, is Splash Camp. And when Splash Camp goes on, Splash Camp is operated by not Cape Charles Baptist Church. It's not Cape Charles Baptist Church camp. It is a camp in Cape Charles that happens on the property of Cape Charles Baptist Church. We've had churches come all the way from Pennsylvania, all the way from North Carolina, all the way from Maryland, all the way from the western part of the great Commonwealth of Virginia. We will bring a mission team in. They will take 1 week for us and they'll run splash camp for us for that week. Now, how did we identify this? Well, we found out that when summer comes on, there is no affordable childcare in Northampton County for the hundreds of children, the hundreds of kids in this community, in this county, other than Northampton Park and Recs, and they knock it out of the park year after year. But they cap out at 45 kids. So where else could parents who couldn't afford to pay for childcare, where could they go? Splash camp was begun. We've been running splash camp for 12 years now. And we have a donor, with donors that come in with us for splash camp and allows us to have it at that gate fee. This year, for the first time in the last 8 years, there'll be a gate rise fee to $55 at the gate. Kids, $55 for the week, 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day. And then another mission team shows up. It's been an incredible resource to the county. When we opened registration this past year, on April 1, in 33 minutes, we had maxed out every week of the camp and had another 72 kids on the waiting list trying to get in. So it's an incredible need. It's just amazing how much people want and need for the community to join in and be a part of that. So I had a mission team that's also came into the Eastern Shore 3 years in a row, come 2025, out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, Salem Baptist. And what they did with their youth group, they contacted me and said, hey, can we come down on spring break? Can you put us to work? Well, that's all you can ask me. We found 6 sites for them to work in March on their spring break. High schools, there's 21 of them came here and worked on community houses. They worked on the church up in Treehornville that was aging out. The people couldn't fix their steps and windows. They did that kind of work. They also said, we would like to do splash camp. So when they wanted to come in 2024, this past year, the only week they could come was already taken by another church. So I said, well, let me ask you this. Would you consider taking on another splash camp and let's start to multiply splash camp? Let's start to put it in another location throughout Northampton County. Long story short, we did at African Baptist Church in Sheridan. We held splash camp this year out there, partnered with that church, serving together. We partnered together. They're not even a part of their Baptist association. They have a different association. We came together. This team came in and put that camp on. We capped it at 25 because it was their first time doing it. Plus, not only that, I didn't want the church to be overwhelmed. We capped it at 25 kids. By day 2, we had 28 kids in the camp, and we had to say, we just can't take any more. I can promise y'all, we could triple that camp if we can get the right kind of resources behind it. So going into 2025, we now will have 8 weeks of splash camp at the Cape Charles location, and now 3 weeks in Sheridan in the year coming up. Just one of the things that we do through through serving together to give opportunity for childcare. And let me say to y'all too, it's not just, I can't use the term childcare. It's not childcare. It's summer camp. But I'll say to y'all, we see a difference when these kids go back to school because we get them the very Monday when they get out of school, they come to us. We get them for 8 weeks, 5 days a week. And when they go back into school, their mind has been stimulated, their energy has been burned in you. They just keep flowing. And we saw great results in these kids' attitudes and their grade scores because they worked again throughout the summer. Another thing that we partner with is Eastern Shore Rural Health. And what we do through Eastern Shore Rural Health, this may surprise you, but we have the migrant camps on the Eastern Shore. There's over 28 migrant camps in both counties. Back in the day, we used to run about 18,000, 20,000 migrant workers in both counties. Today, we run somewhere around 8,000 to 10,000 between the 2 counties. Well, Eastern Shore Rural Health goes into these camps and they do triage. They go in and assess their needs. They find medical emergencies. They find situations where people have no idea that if you don't get something for that blood pressure, you're going to die. So they need to get them to the clinics. Well, by federal law, they cannot transfer the migrants from their camp to the clinic. So they needed somebody to become Ubers. We run the Ubers. And so twice a year, we go into 2 camps, Ames Camp, Sheridan Camp. And we run our vans back and forth, and we will get home about 2:30 in the morning when we've done it, just turning that over. Some of these migrants have life-threatening issues, and they're being resolved to that. We also partner with them throughout the entire time they're here. And migrants start to arrive in 1st of March, they leave at the end of October, sometimes into November. So not only is it these 2 health drives that we do on those nights, and we actually have dentist coverage, dentist assistants work now too. But then if they need to see a specialist in Virginia Beach or in Newport News, Eastern Shore Rural Health calls me, I will find a driver, and the driver will take them to wherever that you have to go. And you don't have to know the language. That's the coolest part of all. The greatest language of all is love. So we do that with them, with those through Eastern Shore Rural Health. We also partner with the domestic violence shelter. We have strong relationships with every entity in Northampton and Accomack County. So one of those is the domestic violence shelter. We recently, just last week, 3 mothers with their children who had been brought into the shelter and who needed to transition back into housing again. So we helped in that process. We also help them with needs that they may have while they're in the shelter. We can help them with hygiene stuff and that kind of stuff also. We also, through that, also have a furniture ministry. And so through our furniture ministry, we collect furniture. I have donors who have paid for 3 shipping containers plus the loading dock. And Charles Williams, if any of y'all know Mr. Williams, he's also a deacon in our church. He owns Fairview Trailer Park out here. Well, he lets us have all of our furniture ministry out there, all of our trailers and everything out on his property. So we collect furniture. So now when a mother and her children are leaving the domestic violence shelter, moving into a home, they have nothing. So we come in and bring in the furniture, anything else that we may have on hand, curtains and that kind of thing. So we collect furniture, and that comes to us from all kinds of people in the community. Recently, I had a family 1 block up from the church who called and said, "Hey, we're being on Friday with the U-Haul. Can you meet me down there? You got a dining room table on here. Can y'all help move that furniture in?" Like that, it was done. Serving together as we knock those things out. We also have a ministry within that church that's called the Good Samaritan Ministry. Y'all may know, you may not. There is not a homeless shelter on the Eastern Shore in neither county. We have the Lighthouse Ministry in Accomack County, but that is a life transformational thing. And praise God that it is. They have a wonderful ministry, but it's not emergency shelter ministry. And so we don't have that. People say, well, it's not really homeless on the shore. The latest census said 258 homeless people on the Eastern Shore. And it's all relevant on how you decide how you term that, okay? But we do have homeless people. We have transitional people that come through on the Eastern Shore and they get bottlenecked right down here. So through our Good Samaritan ministry, we partner with the Budget Inn in Nasawata, which is one of the hotels that houses people up there. And some people live in that hotel because they have nowhere else to go. They will get to a point, the owner of the hotel works in partnership with us. It costs $385 for a 6-night, 7-day stay at the hotel for us to pay. And we do that constantly as needs come about. So we're working, that's one of the ways through our Good Samaritan ministry. We also help with light bills, we help with heat, we help with people who have been injured, they work, but they can't work anymore and they can't cover, they don't have food. We will work with that and we process through that. But a Good Samaritan ministry also is a ministry that reaches out in capacities that, well, I don't have time to state, but just know it is a ministry that is reaching into Northampton County in multiple ways. It is not, even though it is managed by the deacons of Kitchell Baptist Church, we have people who donate to the Good Samaritan ministry outside of our fellowship because of the level that we do. We also have a ministry that came under our watch care 8 years ago called Adopt a Block. And so Adopt a Block is a national movement, it's been around for years. And through our Adopt a Block, when it comes to us, the president at that time was desperate and said, I just need somebody to help us to get our legs under us. So they joined in with us at Kitchell Baptist. We spent 2.5 years. Adopt a Block today is its own nonprofit. It has its own board. It just soars. So what Adopt a Block does is that they go into the local housing development apartment complexes. Currently, they're at Myrtle Landing and they're out here at the Bayview area. They go the third Saturday of every month and they bring in food. They bring in, they say, what do you need? And then they write that down. They come back to us at Furniture Ministry. I cannot tell you how many times we've gone back into Bayview or back into Myrtle Landing. There was a man who had moved into Myrtle Landing. He had finally, and when they were going up, he would just answer the door. That's as far as he would go. And after a couple of months of that, they asked him, do you need anything? And he says, well, let me ask you to come in. And when they walked into his apartment, he had been living there for 4 months. He had nothing in the apartment. He was sleeping on the floor. He didn't have zero, nothing in the apartment. So we worked with that and helped with that as well. So we partnered with Adopt a Block in that capacity. We also have a ministry that is home repairs. So back in the day, through the Baptist General Association, there was a ministry called Impact Virginia. They would show up here in the county. Kids camped out at the Northampton High School. The biggest one was 328 high schoolers sleeping in the gym up there, sleeping in the classroom. And then they went out into the county and they found homes where people could not get the repairs done for themselves. Widows, elderly people, poverty people, and they would identify and we would repair their homes. We did that for a couple of times and then we decided, why don't we transition and start to not do it once a year, but see how often we can maintain and help. So right now, through the Baptist General Association, Cape Charles is on their website. I'm the contact person. So if anybody goes on there looking for a mission opportunity, they can call me. That does happen. So we go into the community, we'll find needs and we'll help. I'll give you just 2 classic examples. Recently, we have a single grandmother who lives right down the road here. Her trailer, black mold, floor was falling all the way through. The plumbing was shot. The electricity was sparking in the walls. And so she cried out to me and said, can you help us? And so what we did was we actually went in and serving together. We decided, okay, let me speak to Charles Williams first. Charles Williams has affordable housing. That's his call and his thing. And he has contacts to mobile homes, used mobile homes. So he gets into the loop. He knows how to do this because he does it all the time. And then we went to the county and asked them, would you allow us to be able to tear these, there was 2 of them, that's one, the other one, same story. We allow us to tear these mobile homes down and just, and put them in the landfill for no charge. They took it to their committee, whoever they are, unanimous. We want to be a part of that. And I want y'all to know this is probably the tune of about $7,000 that the county let us have to be able to make that happen. So how do you get a 40-foot 15-foot mobile home off the property? You go to the community, you ask again, and David Long, the farmer, had an excavator and a 2-axle tandem dump truck, and he pulled up on both of those properties and destroyed those homes, loaded them up and hauled them off the property. I was excited to tell y'all today, both of those locations, they're not living in them yet, but they both have a new used mobile home sitting on their property. In the next couple of months, they'll be moving in. That's another thing that we do, working with home repairs and needs within the community. So the other thing that we do again is what I call the steering committee. Okay, so it's about getting together when needed. How can we brainstorm together? How can we talk together? So these meetings are not preset on the calendar. That has not been determined. It's just how often do we need to meet, and what are some other things that we can be a part of? So if you were in my church, I would now be passing the offering plate out. So I'm not going to ask that of you, but I am going to give you opportunities. So let me tell you what I would love for you to consider. We do have financial support, and it's a fluid thing. It's constantly moving and going on many levels. To maybe decide to be financial support to the splash camp in Sheridan and the one in Cape Charles. We're doing our best to keep it at the lowest level possible. Pull this off. Splash camp runs right now. We're projecting in 2025 to run around $68,000 for boat camps, but it does not cover the staff at the Sheridan camp. So I've got to raise some additional funds to help with that. Also with home repairs, the money that's needed to find the resources to help these people out. and also with the Good Samaritan Fund. That's another place that you can contribute to that. And just know that we'll give you more info on how that money is dispersed and used. Every penny of this is used for these needs. You can help with furniture moving. Please, you can help with furniture moving. So a lot of us have gotten to the point where we can't handle the furniture anymore. So think about it. If you have a son, if you have a child, or anybody that's capable of moving furniture, give me a call. It's on an as-need basis. We're thinking about moving it, be a little bit more organized with that, but helping with the furniture. Also, drivers for the Eastern Shore Rural Health. That's not hard to do. Just, get on our top call list. If I had a need, I could call you. You could help me with that. Also help with Adopt a Block. They meet the third Saturday of every month at Lower Northampton Baptist Church. That's the hub where they pull from. And then they just go out into these communities, and it's about a 2-hour commitment. And you go door to door and just ask the people what they need. And then lastly, well, not last, second to last, join the steering team meetings, okay? Love to have you come in, just hear your thoughts and your perspectives on that. If you're interested, please talk to me about that and we'll get you in the next. And then lastly, I'm also the chairman of the board for the YMCA Northampton County. And so we are really trying to develop the board to be better than it's ever been before. I will step down as the chair in December, so we're looking for a new chair to take my place. I've been the chair since it opened. But we're also looking for other key people to come on to serve on the board of the YMCA to continue to let it manifest and grow.
Questions?
Wow.
Wow. Go ahead.
So how is membership in the Y? Because it was growing very. I don't know what the threshold was that it had to reach to be self-funded, but it's gotta be coming.
It is. Let me tell y'all this, we would not have the YMCA if it wasn't for Southampton Roads YMCA sustaining it with us. We are what's called a mission Y. Okay, so if we didn't have other resources with us, we couldn't sustain it. I will tell y'all this, so with that model, when we started, we projected to get 300 members. We were hoping to get 300. We doubled it. It's such a great asset to this community. It's incredible how much I get to hear from other people. Thank you, that kind of thing. But I mean, I pull out my driveway, look around in the morning, and the parking lot is packed. It's just, it really is.
Splash camp. What goes on at the splash camp? What are the children's ages and how do you become a part of that?
Yeah, thank you. So Splash Camp is a Christian camp. Okay, and it's ages 5 through 12, 5 days a week. They arrive at 7:45. They're supposed to be 8, but they get there at 7:45, and then they check out at 5:15 in the afternoon. So it's 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. It is a Christian camp. So the way we operate is that the kids just get a huge amount of fun, activity, worship, serving, all kinds of things tied in with it. Here again, because of the YMCA, we partner with the YMCA every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. These kids get to go and swim in the pool out there from 1 to 3 all summer long. That take place. They go on field trips, which is another thing that we need support for. We take them across the bay. They've been huge surprised where we go with it. We had donors that donated us a 2016 school bus this past year, and it's inside the church. I don't know if you've seen it, but what a gift, because now we can take the kids across the bay with the one vehicle, 74 passenger bus, and not have to have 6 vans all moving at the same time. But we take them to the zoo, the aquamarine thing over there. We take them to Scourge Adventure Park. That's their favorite to go there. Field trip typically runs anywhere from $700 to $1,200 for us to take the kids. And we're always trying to keep the price off of the parents so that we don't ends up being so expensive. Some kids wouldn't be able to.
What do the parents pay?
Yeah, so we've estimated as close as we can get, if they had to pay full cost of what their cost per kid, it would be $375 a week. They pay up until this year. Next year, it goes to $45 a week. Yeah, 45 a week. And we'll go 55 a week this year, and siblings get a $5-10 drop off of that. And some people say, gosh, well, that there's kids, oh, and this is another thing about Splash Camp. We really started it, we were reaching out to single moms who couldn't afford to put their kids away during the summer. And these kids, literally, I've seen it. They were sitting in their home by themselves with no babysitter or anything, sitting in front of the television. So we did it thinking we were just going to help these single moms out. The community overwhelmed us at the gate. It was every walk of life in the community, which I'm stoked about and excited because we don't want our children being isolated because they're poor. We want them to live in their communities, in their community has communities. So it's a beautiful thing that we've got, families in this Splash Camp who can afford, but we've got some that can. And so we have parents, multiple parents that time for just go, hey, take this check, and helps us out. Last year, this past year, we just finished Splash Camp, we ended with I want to say it was a $3,800 deficit. But you're talking about a $60,000+ program. Yeah. And the way you can get involved with that, like again, you could chaperone on field trips with us. We do criminal we do back stuff. There is a process to come in, but man, we love to have any of all of you want to come and experience it. Like in the morning, what it is, a mission team will come in and put on Vacation Bible School. And every week another team shows up. They have a different theme of Vacation Bible School. So at that time of the morning hour, they're going from open worship in the sanctuary, and I mean dancing and singing and jumping up and down, then into arts and craft, recreation, into Bible lesson, and then upstairs for snacks. That's from 9 to 12 every day. And I love telling y'all this. We capped it at 55 kids this past year. When we got to 62 a week, Noah Lewis, my lead director, we said, we just can't do anymore. I mean, you just couldn't for safety and other reasons, But these kids show up the day they leave school on Friday, on that Monday, they're at our gate. So there is no lay at home, take it off, right? Every one of these children, 8 weeks later, on that Monday, are just excited and stoked to be there. I think we're from the minute they came in. So it's a very, very positive, fruitful ministry. We also have a zero cell phone policy. We've always had that, always, right? Now the schools are getting involved with it, but we've always had it. So you would think, not at all. They don't miss it. We have an area in the back of what's called the Fidelis House behind my office that we turned into a kids pre-K play area, the ages of 5 through 12. But like that for little teeny toddlers to play in, right? I can look at in my office sometimes and I got a 12-year-old boy standing there with another 12-year-old boy making dirt pancakes on and just playing restaurant, So it's just a great environment. Yeah.
Any other questions? We thank you so much for coming today. I think you have spurred the.
Thanks, y'all. Thank you. It's not K-12 Baptist Church. It is not. It is the community all working together. I've had 4 different denominations come in and take the camp. So it is not that at all. It's what it's all about. But you're going to have to go to K-12 Baptist Church. Okay. So you can go to their website, put my phone number there and give it to you today. But honestly, if you leave here and go later, say, I would like to talk to him or whatever, I'm always available. You can get my information from your website.
Well, we'll include your information when we do our minutes out from today's meeting and make sure everybody has a way to get in touch with you.
Yes, you get it.
This is up our wheelhouse to help out. So, I personally say from where I work, it's the best part of my day. At the town hall, when I come outside in the summer, you hear the shrieks of those kids. It really is just like juice in my veins. It's great. So we thank you for that.
And when the 8 weeks is over with, believe me, we don't
We have a little gift for you.
Well,
Thank you for coming today from the Rotary Club and really appreciate it very much. Russell.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And then everybody stands and we can say the things that we think, say anything with Rotarians. 1.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to?
4. And Stanley.
Will we have fun?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Go home.